Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Friday, the 6th of March. Following McShane's reading scheme, we continue reading Paul's second letter to the Corinthians. Today, chapter 5. And the chapter begins, "For we know that if the earthly tent we live in is destroyed, we have a building from God, an eternal house in heaven, not built by human hands." And I read that, I thought, what a wonderful image we have, that we have an earthly tent. Our life here and now is an earthly tent. And as somebody that does a bit of camping, I'm aware that tents are temporary. You go to a place, you put the tent up, you live in it for a while, but that intention is always you're going to pack it up and move on. It never ought to become a permanent place to stay. It's also quite vulnerable. If storm comes through, the tent can get completely wrecked. So this is a temporary arrangement. But Paul says, but in heaven, we have a house, a building from God, an eternal house in heaven. So this isn't a tent. So it's not that we have a tent here and we'll have a tent in heaven. In heaven, we have a house, a place that you can settle, that you can stay, that endures. It's not a temporary arrangement. That's the permanent arrangement. And in a sense, that's what we're looking for. Much like the Israelites coming out of Egypt, living in tents as they headed to the promised land. And once they got there, they could build places to live in and settle down. So that's this great image that we have. We also, Paul says that we have a house in heaven not built by human hands. So it's not something that we build. And this whole notion of, your life is in heaven, your future is in heaven, has been used to beat people. You've got to prepare for heaven, therefore you've got to obey me, you've got to do all the right things, you've got to eat your vegetables and whatever else in order to prepare for heaven. What Paul's saying is, no, we don't build the house. It's not built by human hands. Christ built it. He said, I'm going to prepare a place for you. So we rely on Christ. We trust in God, looking forward to heaven. And as Christians, it means that on the one hand, we don't get too tied up with earthly things. Whatever we've got, we thank God for. We enjoy it, we use it, but we know it's temporary, because one day everything gets left behind. Our money, our possessions, but equally our fame or our infamy, our reputation, all of that gets left behind when you step into heaven. We came naked into the world, naked we depart, and that's a truth. And we go to this eternal dwelling of ours. So as we go through life, we bear that in mind in all that we do. And at the same time, we say this isn't a call to quiescence. And there have been people in the past that have lent on the poor and the marginalized. And certainly when there was the struggles of apartheid, saying, but as Christians, we're preparing for heaven. Therefore, we don't get involved in politics. Don't get involved in all of that stuff. One day you'll get to heaven and it'll all be well. So just put up with it now. Inevitably, that was told by people that were well off and comfortable. So it always had to be taken with a very big pinch of salt. But that's not what Paul is saying. Because we need to remember God loved the world and didn't call us out of it. He came into it. Jesus came into this world to make a difference and to help us and to challenge us and to lead us here. So we have a role to play in this world. But that's not our focus. And so as Christians, we love our neighbor as we love ourselves. And we serve people and we forgive people and we share God's love and we share God's bounty and we give people hope and we are lights in the world. We all of that. But we know that this, no matter how much difference we make, ultimately we're going to leave it and go to an eternal dwelling place, a house made for us by Jesus in heaven. And there, it will be well. So hang on to that thought. Be encouraged to live well, but to always live with eternity in mind. Be blessed.